Good evening, one and all. Welcome back to the channel, and today we are back for another live show, of course. We'll be obviously discussing the squad retain list. Of course, it was announced I think about an hour or so back now. Now, I was going to do a show where I was going to say obviously who I would keep, who I would sell, but obviously the retain list is out. So what I'll do, I've actually adapted the show now. And now I'll just share my thoughts on certain aspects of the news today. Obviously, we'll go through the list, the retain list, and kind of give my thoughts. And obviously, I'll share one or two players I'd love to see come to the club as well. And then obviously, finally, we will. I will be saying my number one choice for. The manager, obviously the manager target, of course, we need to sort that out as soon as possible. But it'll certainly be interesting. But yeah, I mean, let's just go through the comments before we get going anyway. Matthew, make sure you like this video. If you're new, please, thank you, mate. Yeah, please subscribe to the channel. And I appreciate your support, mate. Orest is in, big up to you. Yeah, like I say, he's always here. He always tells people to smash the likes and subscribe. So big up to you, mate. Big up. George is in, big up to you. Yeah, I'm okay, thank you. I hope you're doing well. It is the weekend, of course, now. An exciting weekend for me, for sure. Afternoon, Matt, hope you're well. Big up to Joseph, who's in. Yeah, I'm okay. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well, and yeah, big up to you for coming in as well. Yeah, smash the likes. Yeah, do what Orest says. Smash the likes. Aiden says, "Hi mate, I hope you're okay." Big up to you, Aiden. I'm okay, thank you. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for stopping by. Blue Terrier's in, one more year, Crow, one more year. Praying emoji, yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll get into it. Hi Ryan, can't stay long as under the weather, but have a good street. Oh, thank you, Jay, for popping by. I'm sorry to hear you're not well, and I do wish you a speedy recovery. I hope you feel better soon, for sure. But yeah, thank you for dropping by. Subscribe when you're Orest. You're just a legend, honestly. Of course, I will be meeting up with Orest to talk about Orest. Of course, on Sunday we are heading to Wembley for is of course non-league finals day. So we'll be heading to Wembley, and yeah, it'll be a great day, obviously. But yeah, obviously, I'm speechless thinking about it. So that's how excited I am. But yeah, big up. Comment your like I say, people. Yeah, as we go along, please do comment your thoughts. Yeah, definitely. So. You guys in the chat make this channel what it is, so big up to you all that's tuning in. Blue Terrier, have you seen the clip about Harold talking about us going into administration? No, I have not, Blue Terrier. No, I've not. I don't know whether you've seen that. But yeah, no, I haven't. No. Aiden says, can I just say congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday? What a game. I mean, mate, honestly, that game, let's just mention, that game last night was a madness. The playoffs are simply the best. You know, I'm sorry, but there's nothing better than playoff football. Nothing will eclipse playoff football. It's the drama, the entertainment value. I mean, that game was the best playoff game I've seen to me. It was just madness. You just couldn't take your eyes off it, really. And you didn't want it to end, really. But yeah, what a game. But yeah, like I said, congratulations to Sheffield Wednesday for sure. Yeah, big up to you. Good evening to Ramsey. Good evening, mate. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Chris is in. Evening to you, mate. Yeah, I'm not doing so bad, thank you. Yeah, I hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by. Blue Terrier says we were one day away from it. So, it was that close. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, the sad reality is that I can believe that because we know the way the club's being run. It doesn't surprise me that it was left so late. You know, so late to going out of business, because we know that they've just run that club like a circus down there. It's not rocket science, you can see that. But yeah, so yeah, obviously we're going to talk about the retain list. So I'm just going to get a graphic up here of this. So let's just go. Let's get straight into it then. So yeah, So this is the main top. Obviously, I need to take that comment off. Hang on a minute. Hang on. There we are. Right. So you can just about see this now. So yeah, obviously, the retain list was confirmed today. 7 players who have first team appearances were set to depart the club at the conclusion of their contract. We will get into the list in a minute. And it does go on to say we can confirm that the club are talking to representatives of Danny Ward and Josh Koroma, which is fantastic news, alongside B team player Luke Daly about new contracts with the club, with their current deal running out at the end of June. Yeah, several senior players will depart the club with our thanks and best wishes at the conclusion of their current contracts. So the big talking point there is that Danny Ward and Josh Koroma are looking to, the club are engaging with them, and hopefully a deal will be drawn. Obviously, it does obviously say about, obviously Thomas Vachlik and Josh Ruffles have left. Obviously, they've made vital contributions, obviously, in our successful efforts to retain our championship status under Neil Warnock. It says Canberra has departed. Thank goodness. Whilst Rolando Aarons leaves after 2.5 years at the club, and I've got to say thank goodness as well, because it's just been a disaster really, that signing. 4 players who have been out on loan this season: Brian Schofield, Matty Daly, Critchlow, and Danny Grant will also depart the club. We'll get into it in a minute when we get into the list about my thoughts about this as well. By the way, I'm just reading this at the moment. So the 6 loanees returned to their parent club. So Humbo has gone back, sadly, very upsetting. Lowton, obviously it hasn't worked out for him here, so I'm not particularly bothered about that. Waghorn, people know my thoughts about Waghorn. So Tino Andrin, it's a shame again, a player that has so much potential, but just can't keep fit. So, like I say, him going back makes sense to me. Knockout again, it was worth a chance on him, but it's not worked out in the slightest. It's been a bit of a disaster, that as well. And Jordan Smith, obviously, he was just brought in, with the goalkeeping situation, with the issues we've had during the course of the season, just gone. So, obviously he goes back. And then obviously a few B team players, obviously Charles Ondo, Ben Midgley, and Michael Stone, have extended the contract, which is good. Obviously, some really good young talents there. Under 19 defender Archie Shepherd has been offered a 3rd-year scholarship contract. 10 players across the B team and 19s will not be offered a new contract, which is always really hard to take, really, into. It's not nice to see, because we've got to realise that not all these players will come through the ranks, and will not. Sometimes it does happen where quite a number of youngsters do end up leaving because they're just not required, and it's just not worked out. So it's one of those, really, isn't it? And like I say, I echo the thoughts of the club about, we do thank them for their contributions, all the players that I mentioned there that won't be staying, and wish them all the best for the future, really. That's it, really. I think Danny Ward and Josh Koroma was expected. I was a bit shocked we released Josh Ruffles, but I'm happy that ongoing talks with Koroma. Spot on, mate, spot on. I will get into this in a minute. Obviously, we'll go through the list in detail, and I'll kind of pick out a few players that I want to talk about. But obviously, Ruffles, I'll get my thoughts in a minute about that. And obviously, good to see the ongoing talks with Koroma and Ward, like you say. Ryan Waghorn is your... well, what can I say? You know that. Oh, gosh. Matt is joking. He's joking. He was joking. It's a bit of sense of you. You were just joking with me. Don't worry, mate. Warnock has Ward, Ryan. Warnock has Ward, Ryan has Waghorn. Yeah, I mean, it's true, isn't it, really? Oh, I love those jokes. But yeah, let's get into the list in detail now, and I will obviously speak about this. So yeah, as I was saying, obviously the contractual option here taken for Charles Ondo, Ben Midgley and Michael Stone. Now, to be honest with you, I've not seen much of Michael Stone. I may have seen a lot, but I've seen a lot more of Charles Ondo and Ben Midgley. And I think it's a sensible option. I do. I think it's sensible because Charles Ondo has had a few, has had a few rare appearances in the first tee. I don't think he's maybe had one or two from the bench. Maybe hasn't featured much, but he has got a lot of potential. So I think that the fact that we've extended that with that option of the 1 year extension, it does make sense to me. Ben Midgley is another one that I really rate. I think he's a brilliant player. Obviously, I watched him a lot in the B team and going through the academy system at the club. And yeah, he's got something about him that really excites me. He's still young. Now, whether that means these players, depending on what happens this season, obviously, if it means these players maybe going out on loan, getting some experience, then I wouldn't particularly mind it. But we'll just have to see. But yeah, obviously, good to see those players staying on. And obviously, as we mentioned earlier, obviously ongoing discussions regarding new contracts. So Danny Ward. Now, I just want to obviously touch upon Danny Ward because obviously I was planning to share my thoughts about if I would keep or sell him before obviously the retainers was announced, as I said earlier. But yeah, Danny Ward. I mean, yeah, look, I think it's a sensible idea to keep him on the basis though that I do think he should be a backup striker. I don't think he's a number one striker. I think we do need to be looking at getting another striker in that will be able to be, that will be our number one. And obviously Ward will have a part to play, of course, throughout the season, but he won't be our number one. And that's no disrespect to Danny Ward because I love Danny Ward. He runs himself down to ground. He does his best. But up front, you need to be producing the goals, as we know. And obviously, I know Danny Ward did produce in that season. We got to the playoff final in the 21-22 season, but 2021 season. But yeah, I mean, he's not able to do it. He's getting on a bit now as well. His age, he's getting a bit older. Well, he's got older, obviously. I just think the best option, well, definitely have him from the bench, but I do feel like we need to be getting another striker, like I say, and on the basis of him being a backup striker. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Danny Ward. Before this, obviously, I was going to say that I would have kept Danny Ward on, so that's what I was saying. So I'm glad that obviously the ongoing discussions have been made. Obviously, no agreement yet, but obviously it's nice to see them positive steps made by the club to try and make it happen. So yeah, Danny Ward staying. I'm happy with that. I am happy. He's a good lad to have around the ground, around the training ground, and he's a good option from the bench. But like I said, I don't think he's a regular starter anymore, I'm afraid. I think he's come up with a few goals this season, but clearly not enough. And you can probably say that we haven't maybe given him the service. Obviously we've pretty much played negative football pretty much all season, perhaps when Warnock came in. So has that really helped him? No, it hasn't. But I still think that he has had chances, and he's maybe not as clinical as maybe we'd like. So yeah, that's my thoughts on Danny Ward, really. So yeah, obviously Josh Koroma. Now look, I said it in my other stream. Yeah, Josh Koroma has earned himself a new contract. He deserves it basically because what he produced at the back end of the season was amazing. Really under Warnock, it just proves that if you've got a manager that believes in you and gives you the confidence, you can revitalise your career if you're having a bad spell like Josh was prior to Neil Warnock coming in. Now, there's a few narratives going around here about Josh Koroma that, if that Koroma was just upping his game for a new contract and all this. I don't necessarily believe that. I think that he has the best intentions of the club at heart. I just think he hasn't been managed very well. And when you aren't managed very well, there's only one way going for it. So, and that's happened with Josh. He's just not had yeah, it's just been a tough time for him, really. So yeah, this narrative that he just played for a contract, I think is nonsense in my opinion. I think he does want to be here, and he did play. Once Warnock came in, he showed that he wants to be here. You can look at it two ways, but I'm not looking at it the way that some people are in terms of he was just playing to get a contract, whether it was with us or with another club. So yeah, make up that what you will. But I will go into the comments because I've got quite a few comments coming in here. Ore says, Ryan, do you think Warnock has had any say on these players leaving, staying? I mean, it's really difficult to say, really, mate, because I think they will have had some input, I think, to be honest with you. Because, like I said, we still haven't managed to sort the ownership situation out. It's not been officially confirmed yet. And, I would think that Warnock kind of, whilst there's no manager in place, will have kind of given his advice. I don't see why not. So I kind of think that he has in a way, yeah. I think he has had some kind of input, definitely. And of course, he deserves the input, and we trust him. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. But thank you for that question. Yeah, I mean, Blue Terry, you're right, really. Obviously, the fact that Ward has opened negotiations, obviously, you could kind of say, oh yeah, that's because of Warnock and that. But yeah, Warnock and Ward, yeah, they're a really good fit, really, aren't they? Obviously they've played, and obviously Neil Warnock's been manager with Danny Ward, as we know, at various clubs. He's a proper favourite, and probably obviously Danny Ward loves Neil as well. So yeah, it's good, fair enough, mate. If Warnock does stay, we need a striker as well, and Rhodes has to go. If he stays, Rhodes has been linked away, hasn't he? I think potentially maybe for all Rhodes, obviously we know how good Rhodes is, but he is on a big wage. We know this. Make no mistake about it. He's one of the highest earners, and he's not a starter for you anymore. He'll certainly do a job from the bench. But I do kind of agree with that. Sadly, I don't want Rose to go, but I do agree with this. That he does kind of have to go, and he's already been linked away anyway, so that probably will happen. Chris says, "I love the playoffs when it isn't." I mean, yeah, true. I mean, it's all right being a neutral play if you support you support one of the teams in the playoffs. It's like torture, isn't it? Really, at times. But yeah, it's great watching as a neutral for sure. Joseph said, "I think it's sad for Ruffles going, but I think we need to strengthen your fullbacks this summer. It's not as bad as I first thought, but I would have kept Critchlow just as a backup." I mean, to be honest with you, mate, if you look at where Ruffles played, with the fact that Nakayama's coming back as well now, we have got depth in that area, because you've got the likes of Ben Jackson, obviously Headley that can step in as well. We have got options. For me, Ruffles only really got a chance this season because of injuries and stuff, really. So it's one of those, isn't it? I know what you're saying. It is a shame because Ruffles did play well towards the back end of the season, like a lot of players did under the gaffer. But I just think that before that, he looked very nervous. He looked very shaky. He was getting beaten far too many times. I just think it is the most sensible option, really. As difficult as it is. For sure. And then about Critchlow, I mean, I have actually mentioned Critchlow in a moment. I will mention him in a minute. We are going through, obviously, the squad in a moment. But yeah, Critchlow, I'm not so sure about that, mate, as a backup, because I think that Critchlow has, kind of been one of those players that has never really had a consistent run in the sides. And I think that's kind of been loaned out for you. I think maybe a League One club, League Two, maybe is his level. In all due respects, we haven't really seen enough of Critchlow to say that he's good enough to be a backup. Critchlow will go to League One club, done decent. Yeah, he has done decent at Bradford. I'm really happy for him, actually, Chris. Good point. And yeah, he has done well. So, like I say, it's not nice to see players go, but it is part of football, unfortunately. Even if Ward does stay, he needs to get another striker because Ward is good. Enough. Yeah. We're all on the same page, I think, in terms of why we see Daniel Ward fitting into the squad next season. is certainly as a backup. So definitely, mate, definitely, we need a striker. And I have pinpointed a striker, which I will get into very soon, that would potentially be a good fit. So stay tuned for that. Jace is one I could have paid Wardy's salary. I mean, yeah, possibly. We definitely need another right back. I like the look of Darbo from Coventry. He would be free. I mean, yeah, Darbo, yeah, it's a good shout, to be fair. I think that obviously, yeah, it would be a name that I wouldn't mind seeing come through the door either. So, definitely so, mate. Aiden says, Ryan, when Hogg retires, would you have him as a manager or have him as I mean, to be honest with you, I think that Hoggy has got all the attributes to be a manager, eventually. But I think if it means him starting off as an assistant, I think that'll be good for him to get used to maybe being in that role and then obviously make the step up to be a manager. Because I think sometimes if you jump straight into a management role, it can be really difficult. So I think an assistant, I would definitely love him as an assistant coach to begin with, see how he gets on, and then definitely managing material, after a period of time. But yeah, thank you for that question, Aidan, mate. Players have to leave. You're not. I mean, yeah, true. I know Chelsea love to have a big squad like that. Yeah, 15 blooming days, madness in it. But yeah, it is. We're not Chelsea, that's for sure. Yes, the players do have to leave. I just don't particularly like players leaving that maybe I do like. It's kind of difficult, really, especially if they've been at the club for quite a bit. Or you know what I mean. It's not easy to say goodbye to players you like. Promote Word to assistant and give Hoggy the. I mean, yeah, potentially. If Hoggy wants to start in the B team as a manager there, then I'm all for that as well. So yeah, very good comments coming in this evening. So big up to you all and questions. I really appreciate that. Luke Daly obviously is a youngster. Obviously, if you can get him a new contract, then yeah, it certainly has a big future ahead of him. We haven't seen much of him. He's we haven't seen anything in the first team yet, but still young. So he's learning in the academy setup as well. So yeah, good news about that. Obviously Archie Shepherd, obviously a scholar. Yeah, I don't know much about him. I've not really heard of him, but yeah, obviously scholarships tend to be, they're not really on our minds at the moment. Obviously they've got a lot of time to develop and before we consider them as in the first team. So yeah, let's get into the release list now then, because obviously there's a few players I do want to touch upon here. And we're going to start with Josh Ruffles because I think that, like I said earlier, Josh has been a player that has had a bit of consistency issues, let's say. I think that, he's had a bit of shaky moments this season. I think that he did look a bit shaky at the start of the season until Watt came and he did start to obviously, really play a lot better. But I think initially when Ruffles was signed, it was as a backup, and in truth, that role would suit him. But like I said earlier, the emergence of both Ben Jackson and Jaheim Headley, and obviously with Nakayama fit next season, do we really need another option down the left? I don't think we do. I think obviously maybe if he would have got another 12-month option contract, then I wouldn't have minded that. But he obviously decided to leave. Obviously, decided to let him go. So it is one of those, really. And just to clarify here as well about Danny Ward. Just going back to Danny Ward quickly. I would say that Danny Ward should be on a 12-month contract as well. I don't think we should be tying him down for a 2 or 3 year contract, really, to be honest with you. It does need to be a 12-month. Now, whether that suits Danny Ward, I don't know, because obviously the security of that isn't very good for him. But yeah, that's for me, and obviously, Josh Ruffles, it's a shame, really. But I can understand that decision. Honestly, I'm happy about the decision because I think he is a good player, but I think it was the correct decision, if I'm being totally honest, with the options we've got in that position anyway now. But yeah, Thomas Baxter obviously goes back. Yeah, I mean, I expected that. Really, let's talk about Canberra. I mean, wow. What a disaster a signing this was, let's be honest here. You know, I think when he did come in, I think it was a case of another of those what were you thinking kind of signings, wasn't it really, when he first came in? Let's be honest. Fotheringham thought he could get the best out of his former player. Yet in 5 months, Canberra only managed 58 minutes of football. So he did score in the FA Cup, if you remember. But, you know, look, it's Canberra's previous spell at Sheffield Wednesday indicated it would never be good enough for a step up to the Championship, and so it proved. With the youngsters of Terry, Simpson and Harrott preferred to him. So Canberra, it just sums up the recruitment policy of where we've been in the past 12 to 18 months, if you could say so. It's been an absolute shambles. But yeah, let's get into the comments before moving on. Can't wait to see whether Daniel Ward just... Yeah, I mean, it'd be interesting. Obviously, the negotiations aren't ongoing, so I can't see why not. If they're meant to negotiations, hopefully things can be agreed for sure. This is one player I feel sorry for, Danny Grant. I don't think he started the game for since coming. I hope he finds somewhere where he gets to start. But I mean, I understand what you're saying, to be honest with you, mate, about Danny Grant, because I think you're right. I think he hasn't really had a proper chance under any manager that's come in. But yeah, it is a shame. I do feel sorry for him. But look, I wish him all the best, and he certainly will find a club that that he'll find a new home, and he will. I'm sure he'll have a good career ahead of him for sure. There's no question about that. Injuries have stopped Grant from going. I mean, yeah, injuries is a massive. Yeah, absolutely. That's a big kind of issue that he's had, hasn't it? Really. That's why he's not really been in the team. Hello to Alex. You've been to Bradford still. Very nice. Hope you had fun. Yeah, keep getting the likes. Boris says here. Big up to you, mate. So yeah, we're going to go on to the next player now that I want to come on to, and that is Rolando Aarons. I mean, yeah, obviously he's been released. It's come as no surprise to me, really, because when we back in 2020, I think we was all thinking what a signing this potentially may be. But yeah, injuries again, very injury prone. Another injury prone player that just hasn't been able to keep fit. Like I say, he struggled to really exert himself into a bottom end SPL side as well. Obviously, he went on loan to Scotland, and also League One club Wycombe as well. He went on loan there, and again didn't do anything really. And if you remember as well, he was identified as the man identified to replace Callum Grant, who obviously we sold for 16 million. I mean, again, I'm not sure what anybody was thinking about this really. Who the heck thought this was a reasonable idea? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, we should have really got rid of him before his contract. I mean, not that anybody would have wanted him anyway. But yeah, like I say, he made 12 appearances for the club, 0 goal contribution, about 35 injuries. So yeah, I'm kind of. It's a very sensible idea to get rid of Aarons, really. Obviously, next up, we're going to go on to Ryan Schofield. Now, I'm quite sad about this, because, look, Ryan Schofield, obviously, a boyhood town fan, obviously, a Huddersfield lad. Great guy. It was, it was his dream playing for his local club, but it's turned into a bit of a nightmare. If you remember, though, I think the club really have got to take some responsibility for this, because if you look, he was thrown in at the deep end in the 2021 season because we hadn't got anybody else to come in as goalkeeper, and then obviously Schofield, he just never really recovered from these because the basic errors became the norm for him. Unfortunately, he never really recovered from that, and his nervousness was really recognisable every time he put the gloves on. Really, I think, like some of the other young lads, he needs to drop down a few leagues and work his way back, I think. And I think, for me, I think I'd absolutely love it if he was able to work his way back up the leagues again. Because it is a real shame, especially when he's one of those that cares the most, being a boyhood town fan, obviously a local lad. So yeah, it's a shame about Ryan Schofield, but it is the right decision. And yeah, all I can say is I wish him the best, really. But yeah, next up is, let me just find out who we've got next. I mean, Matty Daly, obviously had a few glimpses, had a few looks in the first team from time to time, not consistently, but obviously he's been out on a few loans as well. So yeah, I think it's just a case of he wasn't really challenging the first team. So it's a case of, let's just kind of, just let him go, unfortunately, now. Critchlow, I think Critchlow's another one that, look, that, and my throat is killing me all of a sudden. Apologies for this. You have what, like I say, Critchlow's 24 this summer, and he's has never really effectively pushed above League 2 level. I've seen him on a few occasions this season. To be honest, I'm not so sure that he'll end up either in lower level League 1 over the next few seasons, and that's just being brutally honest. So keeping him doesn't really seem like a worthwhile idea, really, at present. And Town obviously have their eyes fixed on developing other players in the squad, the likes of Adewaju and Orlan Bunju, two youngsters over the next few years. So, yeah, it does, again, make sense, unfortunately. And, again, another one that, obviously has come through the academy, and it's a shame, but this is football. But yeah, let's get into the comments, because there is a few comments that I've missed. Yeah, I mean, you're going to have to stay tuned for that, bro. I will be revealing it soon. Obviously, there's a bit of a long list to get through. I'm not going to go through every single player, obviously. Obviously, the academy lads on this list here that are released. I'm not going to go through them, really, but because I don't really know much about them. And I think that if they're not, I think sometimes academy players come and go, don't they? So, yeah, but yeah, we'll get to it very soon, promise. Max is saying, yeah, Oris might be what he might be one, and Ryan. Ironically, Aidan, we've spoken about this. So Oris does want to be a manager one day, and I have said if he does need a helping hand, I'm happy to be his assistant. So I don't know if you're going to take me up on that offer, but who knows? Oris, I don't know. I don't know if you believe in my abilities to be your assistant. But yeah, anyway, joking aside, yeah, I love the banter. There's a good keeper in Ryan, Jay says, but so much of football is in the head. And but like I said, I don't agree with the way the club handled this, really. It could have all been prevented this. Throwing him in the deep end into the first team, and he wasn't really ready for it. What was the worst possible idea? And that's what the club did. Because we had no other options, really. At the time, we had an injury crisis in the goalkeeping situation, didn't we? I seem to remember now. And yeah, Ryan obviously was the only real one that had some sort of experience in the first team, so he was the one that, that kind of stepped in. And yeah, it's kind of, his head's just gone. Orest, the fans that got Schofield back didn't help either. They didn't, did they? They didn't. But the things with Schofield, I don't really think that he should have ever been given the job in the first place. And especially when I've heard that he was actually told that if he didn't take the job as well, he'd have to leave which I don't think is the way the club should have handled that either. You know, he was in the academy setup, he was happy there, he was doing well there. You shouldn't really be putting somebody in that position of take it or leave it kind of situation. It wasn't on his terms. So yeah. Creech versus Forest was outstanding. I mean, yeah, definitely so, mate. Do we need Schofield if we got... I mean, yeah, good point. But the fact is, Joseph, I don't particularly... You know, obviously, with him having that connection with the club already, obviously being a local lad and the boy in the club, it's difficult, isn't it, to let someone like that go, really. It's a shame how it's panned out, I suppose, is what I'm saying. Yeah, we will get to the manager situation soon, Jay. You can't flog dead horses like Grant and Schofield. Yeah, I mean, he does have a nice ring to it, Orest, I'm not going to lie. So, I don't know. Like I say, let's watch this space, let's say. Yeah, I will get to the manager. Like I say, we will be going just for about, and I'm probably going to go for another 20 minutes. Yeah, about over 20 minutes, and we'll be finishing off. So yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, it is. It's funny, isn't it? Yeah, it's got a nice ring to it, like I say. So maybe it's just written that it happens. And yeah, big up to Luca. Thank you for coming by. So yeah, let's carry on with the list. Danny Grant. I mean, we have touched upon this anyway, but yeah, I think it's just a shame really about him because look, he's got the talent for sure. You know, very quick, very pacey. But unfortunately, like I say, injuries, and he got COVID into then long COVID and other factors really hampered his progress here. Unfortunately, things never really got going for him, did they? I think a fresh start lower down the pyramid is probably the best thing for him. And yeah, like I said, I'm sure everyone will wish him all the best in that as well. So yeah, that's Danny Grant. Obviously, we're getting to the academy players now. So yeah, a few academy players. Yeah, unfortunately, being let go. And that is what happens, unfortunately, sometimes. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, the return to the parent club, obviously, Josie Fungbo, which people know my thoughts on that. I'm gutted. I'm gutted because I really do think he should have been coming back this season, if I'm honest. But yeah, it doesn't. I don't think it'll happen, especially with the post that he put out the other day. So it's a shame. That's the problem with loans, isn't it? You know, you get connected with players, you know, and you really like them, and then they just go back, and then you're not able to get them back. So it's a real shame because I love Humbo. I think he's a big talent, but whatever he does, I wish him all the best for his future, and he's certainly going to be, a really fantastic player for whoever he plays for. Lawton, I've mentioned that anyway. Lawton, yeah, he didn't really work out for me, did it? Waghorn, yeah, good riddance. Hopefully, unfortunately, hopefully you can go back to Coventry and sit on the bench again. And yeah, obviously I'm just glad that he's not in the club anymore, if I'm honest with you. So yeah, Martin Waghorn, goodbye. Andrew, another one that's been injury prone. Got him back for the second time. And yeah, it's just been the same old story really from him. Just not being able to keep him fit. So yeah, sensible decision to send him back. We won't be trying third time lucky anyway for this guy either. Knockout was a good player to have a punt on, but again that was a disaster. And John Smith, obviously the goat, like I said earlier, John Smith would just come in as backup last season, wasn't he? So yeah, he goes back now as well. We can't get players in it. I mean, yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem, though, isn't it? But we haven't got time to be wasting. This has to be sorted soon because, we've got a lot to address, as we know. There's a lot of decisions to be made, and we need to be organised. The window opens at the start of June, and we need to be getting in players earlier, ready for pre-season, or at least making conversations even before that point as well. So But yeah, we need a manager for that as well. So yeah, the window does open on the 1st of June. So it's not that far away, really. I mean, yeah, Waghorn in the Prem. I mean, obviously, Coventry have a chance to go. I mean, wow. Goodness me. I think it's a case of they're stuck with Waghorn, unfortunately, because of his contract situation. So they don't particularly want him there, but he's there. Yeah, it should be approved soon. Yeah, there will be a plan, but like I say, we need to be sorting it soon, as I said. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, on the list of the first team players that obviously under contracts, obviously, for me, out of those players that I would look to maybe move on, if possible, I'm shocked. I don't really particularly. I've said my thoughts about Sorba Thomas. Yeah, I think Sorba. Yeah, he's burnt a lot of bridges with the football club, if I'm honest with you. So we know he had that fantastic season when we got to the playoff final that year, 2 years ago. And not 2 years ago, last year, sorry. But this is the fame seems to have gone to. His attitude's been really poor. He's even said that he doesn't even want to play for the club. He even said that he didn't want to. He thought it was better than playing at the bottom end of the table. For some reason, he came out with silly comments like that. I think it's a case of him being badly managed. And yeah, Sorba, he's had no appreciation for what the club has done for him. Remember, we gave him a chance at this level. Therefore, he should be grateful for that, but he isn't. And yeah, I mean, I don't know who would want him, but I certainly don't particularly want him to be here the next season, if I'm honest. When people say, oh, let's just see, let's give him another chance, let's see who comes in as manager. But for me, Sorba Thomas has burnt bridges that, he's just not on, really. I just think it's time for him to leave. Because if you haven't got the club's best interests, then really, I don't really think it's a good idea to be staying on. We've talked about John Rhodes. So John Rhodes has been linked away. So if he goes, I will be sad, but I can understand if he wants to go. Who else have we got here that I want to talk about? Will Boyle, for me, Will Boyle has to go. We need to get another. Centre back in as backup because he's not good enough as backup in central position for me. Boyle. Brody Spencer, like I say, potentially go out on loan. Brody, I think he's 19 into now, Brody. So I think he potentially go out on loan maybe this season. Conor Mahoney, I don't think we can sell him, but really he's just a waste of space at this club. Offers nothing, so if we can get rid of him, great, but I don't really know who we'll take at this point. That's the problem, so we kind of stuck with him. Aaron Rose, another one that's we're not really seeing much of. Again, I don't think we'll be able to get rid of him. Osterfield, again, a youngster. I think he may come on this season and really push for the first team. Potentially, Aina has done fantastic at Dundee this past season gone. So, is he ready to push on? And yeah, let's get this banner off now. And you can see me again. Let's go through the comments. Instead of Lee Nichols being 21, would you give him the number? I mean, yeah, I would. Obviously, he is our number one, so he should really be coming as number one. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, he did initially, but he did say in time he would actually accept the number one jersey. So I don't know if the time is right for him to do so. But yeah, I think he did say he would want to do it. He would want to be number one. He would have wanted to have number one at some point, but not at the time when he was asked, I think. So who knows? Saab and Chrome are best mates. They might get the best out of each other. Matt was Saab, Chrome, Radoni, and Harrod stand out. Yeah, for me, though, Joe, if I say it, I'll say it again. Sorba Thomas doesn't want to be at the club, and if he hasn't got the club's best interests, and it's all about him really with him. It's all about me kind of attitude, and yeah, he's kind of a bad player to have around the dressing room. To be honest with you, when he's when he behaves the way he does. So I don't think so. But obviously, I agree with the likes of Corona. If he stays on the dome, he will have a bigger season next season, definitely. And Harrott, I think Harrott will really push on as well. I do. I think Harrott will really push on. And but yeah, I don't agree about Saab, I'm afraid, mate. Let's just get up what I'm going to say. I'm going to get into some players that I would potentially like to see at the club. And then obviously the manager choice I will be revealing right at the end. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I mean, one player, I mean, look, I've said that, we all know that we needed a striker. Now, I've done my research, and I think that, someone that I would really like to see come in would be Jerry Yates from Blackpool. I think that Jerry Yates is a very good player. I think if I'm going to get some stats up of what his season was like I think that, to get 14 goals last season in a really struggling Blackpool side, I think that's brilliant for me. I think it is. Now, his contract obviously has got another year left at Blackpool. So I would think that we would be able to get him if we want to get him. I think with more quality around him at Town, in all due respect to Blackpool, but with more quality around him at Town, there's no reason why he can't match that, or in fact, he can't even get a few more goals extra. So up to maybe 18 goals, 20 goals. That's only a couple of goals difference to what he got at Blackpool last season. I think that maybe it's a case of he may be a bit too good for League One, so maybe we'll be looking and assessing his options. If I'm honest. So yeah, let's get the graphic up. So yeah, obviously, he was a real key player for Blackpool. Like I said, 14 goals, 4 assists, 41 appearances, like I said. He started a lot of the time, and yeah, obviously the percentage of goals that he, contributions is really impressive for me. Luke Amos has been released by QPR. It won't be a bad shout. Is Luke Amos? What position is he? Sorry, can't remember it. But yeah, obviously Hannibal as well. I mean, Hannibal. what does everyone make about this? Because obviously we do need depth in midfield, really. In central midfield. I think that someone like Hannibal, obviously we know him, obviously a really talented youngster at Man United, so being on loan at Birmingham this season, and he's done very well at Birmingham, I think, and I think he would be a good option to have. I don't know if Man United would potentially look to look. I think potentially it would be looked to loan. I think they would look to be loaning him out again. So there's no reason if we inquire, we might be able to get him. Yeah, that's another player potentially in midfield that I'd like to see. Oh. Paul says Bradley Dack has left Blackburn. Wonder what he's got. The only problem with Bradley Dack, Paul, is that his injury record doesn't lie. He's another very, very injury-prone player. And, we need reliability. And I don't necessarily know if he will be the option there. I don't think he'll necessarily give us that based on what we've seen. And plus, I think his wages obviously will be quite high as well. So what he's been on at Blackburn, even though he's not really done much of that when he's been injured a lot of the time, I think he'll still want a fairly nice wage. So I don't know. I think we should be going somewhere else for a forward, really. Midfield, right? Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest with you. I don't really know too much about him. Again, it's a case of what I don't really know much about him, but What I will say is, and I'm sure this may be a popular opinion as well, Daniel Sinani, he of course is a free, so he's been released by Norwich. We know how well he did at his first stint with the club. In our, when we went, when we got went all the way to the playoff final. He made a big contribution there. So would anyone take Sinani back? Because I certainly wouldn't, especially on the free as well. And plus, he knows the place. And he knows the place, and we know what we're going to get with him. Now, yeah, sorry guys, I'm just doing it. Joe said I want Bakuna back, but I know I can't. I disagree. We're disagreeing a lot tonight, Joseph. We are. We're disagreeing a lot. I mean, I don't agree. I think Bakuna is one of those that chose when to turn up. That's first of all. He chose when to turn up. He had all the talent in the world, but was very lazy a lot of the time as well. I don't necessarily agree with that at all, mate. I think he's obviously, it's not that I don't like him, but I just think, for the factors that I've just mentioned, I think we can't really be going down that route again. Blue Terry says, wouldn't mind. I mean, yeah, he's another good option, actually. Good shout. I mean, yeah, he's a good player. And yeah, he would actually be a decent player to get in, actually. So I wouldn't mind. I would take him, actually. I wouldn't mind him either. But yeah, if Sheffield Wednesday don't go, I think we should go Barry Bannon. Yeah, I mean, Barry Bannon is a legend. I'm glad you mentioned this, Aiden, because look, I mean, the only concern about him is he's getting on quite a bit now. Plus, he's Sheffield Wednesday through and through. He's been known to turn down clubs because of his love for that football club. So I wouldn't necessarily be surprised if he retired there, really. So, but yeah, obviously Bannon is a class player. Yeah, Jerry Yates for me, I'm sorry, but I just think he would be a really good signing. And I don't think he would cost that much either. I mean, it would cost quite a bit, but and his wages won't be that much. So for me, I think it's worth an inquiry. But yeah, I mean, we need to get a mix of younger, up and coming. I mean, yeah, we do. The balance of squads are vital, aren't they? We know this, and yeah, I definitely agree with you, Blue Terry, about that. Jason, what if Ollie Norwood doesn't get minutes next season? I mean, yeah, it's one of those, isn't it, where Ollie Norwood again. I mean, he had a decent spell with, didn't he? But I don't necessarily know whether he would come back and whether so I'm undecided. Jerry, about 2 million. I mean, yeah. So it's not cheap, is it really? The thing is though, Blue Terry, he's only got 1 year left. He's only got 1 year left, so I don't necessarily know if it would take to that amount to get him. Maybe around 1.5, maybe 1 million, 1.5. I don't know. So yeah. Anyway, we can talk about the squad and we can talk about everything all one, but we're just going to have to see. Obviously, I've mentioned a few names I'd like, and obviously we've had some very good suggestions in the chat as well, which I really appreciate. But we're going to move on to the manager situation, which obviously is the first thing that we need to really focus on, isn't it? Because we need to get a manager in first and foremost, and then you can start building a squad. But before we do, we're just going to go into final comment from Aiden, who has, no, in fact, Blue Terry at 1 year, but right, okay. Right, I didn't know he had a further year extension if he wants it. So yeah, no, fair. Thank you for clarifying that. So yeah, would probably take quite a bit of money then, wouldn't it? But again, you get what you pay for, and I think that Jerry Yates, will get you 15, 20 goals. I do. In this squad that we've got, and obviously with a few new additions, I really do think he can do really well in this squad. So, yeah. And obviously he's played at this level as well. Obviously with Black, he's played at this level, so he's not just coming in. He's never played in the Championship. He knows what to expect. You know, and he's done it. He's scored goals in this league. So, yeah. And Aiden says Cameron Archer. This is another thing that I'd say because, the loan market will be crucial. It will be crucial. I'm thinking, we need an Izzy Brown, Casey Palmer type loan. Them kind of calibre of players. And I think that Cameron Archer would certainly be a good shout. I do like him. But it would depend again on what is it Aston Villa, isn't it? It would depend on what Villa want to do with him and how they see him. You know what I mean? Because maybe they did loan him out, didn't they, to Middlesbrough for the season, just gone. Do they think that loan was there to get him ready to be able to make a step to their team this in the new season? I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking, but if he's available, if he's available, and they say that he's able to go back on loan, absolutely, I'll take it. He's a quality player, is Cameron Archer, definitely. Blue Terry says to get a good championship striker, which we need, you have to be. Yeah, you do. You're right. Spot on, mate. So we have to do it. If you look at the players that we've signed over the year, over the past 12, 18 months, look how much money we've wasted. And if you just spend a bit more, you actually get that end product you want. You actually get the goals in return. You get performances. It's not guaranteed, of course, but you know what I'm saying. So yeah, you do, and I really do think that we do need to be spending a bit of money. Like I said, I'm not expecting to spend loads and loads and loads because that's not what is expected. But we do need to be spending a fair bit. I think striker would probably be my number one priority. A player to get in up front, really, first. And obviously look to the midfield, obviously centrally. And like I said, we need backup in centre back for me because even though we have got some youngsters coming through, I think that we really do need some experience as well. I don't think Boyle fits that bracket. I don't really think Boyle should be. I'm not being harsh, but I just don't think he's championship level, I'm afraid. He's just so slow. He's just not made to be a championship player, I'm afraid. But yeah, we are going to get into the manager situation now. So let's talk about the people that have been mentioned, and then I will say who I would choose. Now, obviously, Chris Wilder again has been reported to be linked with us. Obviously, it is reported, that he could be about to leave Watford. Obviously, so he could soon be available. I think make no mistake, since that spell at Sheffield United, he really has gone a bit downhill, hasn't he, Chris Wilder? But he did work wonders with Sheffield United. So it's I won't give anything away, but I'm a bit uncertain about that. Let's just say that. And obviously another manager that was linked, obviously Michael Duff, who we know obviously is the Barnsley boss at the moment. Obviously he's going to decide the playoffs. Obviously be interested to see what happens tonight. Will they make the final? Will they not? Because if they do end up going up, I do think it will be hard to get Michael Duff. But if they stay down, then I certainly think he would be available, and I don't think that would be a bad shout for me. But again, I'm not actually going to reveal until after I've said all this. Nathan Jones, definitely not, categorically not. And I raised my voice in the nicest possible way because I'm sorry, this guy is terrible. I don't remember. I never forget his comments he made about us in the playoffs when we played Luton last time. You know, he's such, and like I say, he's struggled with Southampton. Obviously, a really disastrous spell with the Saints, and Stoke. He didn't do anything at Stoke. So for me, stay well clear of Nathan Jones, please. Thank you very much. Next up is Scott Parker, who obviously has 2 championship promotions on his CV. Let's not forget that. He's been without a club since departing Club Bruges in March. Again, like I say, he's been there and done it. He's had promotions in the championship. So again, that is a reasonable shout for me. Then I'm not gonna obviously. Then we've got Neil Critchley, who it didn't work out for him at QPR, but he did a fantastic job with Blackpool. So again, he's an option. Lee Bowyer, obviously the former Birmingham City boss, has publicly said he's keen on return to management. So will he be the answer? Bruno Lage, again, this is the most ambitious option. And I'm not going to lie, I like this option. Oh, damn, I'm giving it away. But, no. But what I will say, obviously, he was sacked from, at Wolves back in October. But I still think that he has all the attributes to be able to have a really, really good time with us. And so that's my view on that. Like I said, let me know your comments, guys, on who you want to see as manager as well. I will tell you who you would like to see coming. Next up, obviously, Valerian Ismail. I mean, it's reported that he's in talks with Watford at the moment. But if he's not appointed by Watford, he could be an option, but I'm not so sure. I'm not convinced about this guy, really. I'm honest. And last up is Slaven Bilic. I mean, see, he's got a lot of experience as Slaven Bilic. Obviously, he was in charge of Watford. But yeah, the moment of truth has come where I will pick my choice. And because I am an ambitious type, and I think that we all have to aim high. We all have to want to, really. Yeah, we need to aim high. We can't just be consolidating and saying, "Oh, it'll be all right if we do it." We want to be aiming as high as possible. So for me, I would actually go for Bruno Lage if possible. I think that it is a very ambitious point, like I said earlier. He's not got a club, so that will be easier for us. I'm not sure how much he would want in a wage, but again, you do get what you pay for. So if he does want a little bit more, and it proved out to be the right decision, then. But yeah, for me, Bruno Lage has all the attributes to be able to come in and really make a stamp on this team and make it his own. And yeah, even though he did get sacked for Wolves, I think he's done fairly decent for Wolves. It just turned very sour, didn't it, towards the end. But yeah, what I will say about that is that I think that Duff as well. Duff, I wouldn't mind seeing. He's done fantastic where he's been, Duff. In terms of, doing well at Cheltenham and then doing so well at Barnsley this season. And make no mistake, it's a brilliant achievement to do what he's done with Barnsley as well. So I think them probably are my top 2. But yeah, Bruno Lage would definitely, I think, will be my choice, if I'm honest. Let's go for the comments. Backup goalkeeper, don't you think Bila Kapic could be our backup, Aiden? I think that Bila Kapic has proven that he's more than capable of being a backup. Now, it would depend on if you want to send him out on loan, maybe. then obviously we would have to get somebody else in. But at the moment, Bilakapic, for me, is a good backup. Drum roll, yeah. I don't think he's gone to Watford just yet, Joseph. He's not been confirmed as far as I'm aware. I'm not sure who that is, to be honest with you, Blue Terrier. I'm sure you'll enlighten me. But yeah, I've not heard of him. Aiden says, I wouldn't mind Paulins. I know he did a bad at Reading, but I think he could. Aiden, that is very interesting. I don't agree. I don't think I agree with this. I think that Paulins, I think, he has a bad time. He had a bad time at Reading. And to be honest with you, been very difficult for him to work under the circumstances at Reading with all the off-field issues as well. But I don't think he's the option. He's the right appointment. But yeah, I think it's just a case of waiting for this clearance from the EFL about the owner, and then there's lots to do. Then there's lots to do, shaping the squad and getting the manager in firstly, and then shaping the squad, getting new players in, and building for next season really. But so like I said, I really do hope you've enjoyed the show. It's been good. Obviously, I'm not sure in relation to Huddersfield Town content. Obviously, it's going to be a bit quieter now on that front because of obviously it is the summer and not a lot goes on. I mean, so there will be transfer shows and things obviously next month. Obviously, when we get going with that and do a few transfer shows, and obviously we'll probably do a video when the managers are appointed as well, and do a video on that. But yeah. But a young Italian manager that had a couple of good years in Turkey is the main man and spent a long time working. Interesting then, but thank you for that. I mean, obviously, if he's really learned under De Zerbi, that's not a bad person to be learning under, is it really? De Zerbi's a fantastic coach. I think so. Yeah, thank you for that insight. And I think that. Yeah, maybe if we want to go somebody that's up and coming and young, then but I do think that maybe I'm being a bit old-fashioned when I say when we need to go for experience. I don't know, but who knows? I mean, it sounds promising. What about Tony Mowbray from Sunderland? Apparently his future is uncertain, but if he stays, I think we should go for Parker or Duff. Ishmael has gone to Watford, I saw it the other day. Right. Tony Mowbray, I believe, I know there was rumours that Tony Mowbray potentially will be leaving Sunderland, but now I heard recently that they're looking to maybe potentially keep him on into next season now. Can't believe that was even a question, but I can't believe that was even put in question, sorry. I can't believe there were rumours about that. The job that Tony Mowbray's done this season at Sunderland has been incredible, so I'm not sure why that rumour started, but so it doesn't look likely. But to be honest with you, mate, you've hit the nail on the head. Tony Mowbray would have been a brilliant option because he's full of experience. Obviously, he did well at Blackburn, and then with Sunderland, he's done fantastic, really. So Parker. Scott Parker's not a bad shout either. To be fair, I wouldn't be disappointed. Like I say, we go back to what I said earlier on. He's got 2 promotions from the Championship on his CV. So he knows the league. He's got promotion from this league. It's so difficult when you're looking at choosing a manager, honestly. It's more difficult than you think. But I think my top 3 then, obviously, Bruno Lage, Duff, and Parker. I think that's my top 3. What's your goal? I mentioned that the other day, Jay. I said it was the Humbo goal against Reading. And that was a beauty of a goal, that. Mate, can you please do a live watch along for Country Luton? I mean, potentially, mate. Potentially, yeah. I do want to do a watch along again soon, so that might be a good one to do. So, yeah. We might be able to sort that for you. But thank you for that suggestion. Jason Moby. So I mean, he is into it. It's fantastic with young players, and yeah, so we have got quite a number of young players, haven't we, at the club? So yeah, we will just have to see what happens and how things shape up really in the next few weeks in regards to club ownership, and then yeah, start rebuilding, as I said. But yeah, that's it. That's it for today's show, guys. So yeah, big up to everyone that's tuned in. I really do appreciate everyone that's come in and made some really good points tonight. Actually, I really, you guys in the chat make this channel what it is. Honestly, you guys are the best. So yeah, big up. It's been a lovely stream. I've really enjoyed it. So yeah, big up to you all. Cool. Have a great stream. Up the town as always, Jay. Big up to you. Joe's, big up Ryan, great stream. Up the town. Kevin Nagel's Barney Army, yeah. Yeah, I like it. But yeah, let's leave it there then. Yeah, like I say, I hope you all have a lovely weekend, whatever you get up to. Of course, there'll be new content coming on the channel on Sunday evening. Obviously, I'm going to Wembley, as I said earlier, obviously on Sunday for the non-league finals day. So there'll be a little vlog. Meeting up with my bro, Oris, obviously, first time meeting him. It's going to be amazing. I'm really excited, and yeah, it's going to be so good. So that'll be good, obviously. Yeah, I'm buzzing for it. So yeah, that'll be new. That'll be the next content on the channel. But yeah, stay tuned for anything else. Obviously, I'll keep you up to date. Obviously, some watch longs soon as well. I promise. I know I kept saying we'll do watch longs again, but yeah, we will do another watch along soon. Maybe, like Aiden says, the playoff final between Coventry and Luton. That'll be a great one to do. But yeah, have a good rest of the weekend. Take care, everyone. Great live stream. Big up to you, Aiden. Thank you so much for your kindness, and thank you for dropping by this evening. As always, you're always here if you can make it. One of my loyal fans for sure. As everyone is on this chat room, that continue to come back, to be honest with you. So yeah, big up to you all. But yeah, take care, everyone. Have a good weekend. And yeah, I'll see you on the next one. And as always, up the town. And as Josie says, Kevin Nagel's Barmy Army indeed. Good night. Bye-bye, everyone.